It is common to face moments when tears seem to be the only response to our cries. Often, life presents us with challenges that may seem insurmountable, and discouragement tries to take over our hearts. However, it is in these moments that we are invited to look beyond the pain, seeking the hope that reveals itself amidst difficulties. Have you ever paused to reflect on how, even in the most bitter situations, there is the promise of a splendid new beginning, where sadness can turn into joy? Life is a mixture of flavors, and although we may go through tough trials, it is essential to remember that each one carries a purpose. Many times, what seems to be an end is, in fact, a new beginning. How have we been dealing with the adversities that arise in our path? Faith is the anchor that keeps us steady, even when the storms intensify. Trusting that something greater is at work is a fundamental step toward transforming our reality. I invite you to open your heart and allow hope to enter. Even when everything seems dark, it is possible to glimpse the light that promises a better future. As we face difficulties with courage and perseverance, we are shaped and prepared for the blessings to come. Are you willing to embrace this promise and believe that, after every trial, the reward will come? Let us together seek this understanding and remember that, even in the most challenging situations, there is a purpose guiding us and a God who takes care of us. Often we find ourselves in situations that test our faith and resilience. It is natural to feel that we are alone in the face of difficulties, but it is important to remember that, even in the most challenging trials, there is a greater purpose at work. The Word teaches us that everything we face can lead us to a greater good. In Romans chapter 8, verse 28, it is written, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose." This passage reminds us that, no matter how painful the present moment is, there is a promise that everything will contribute to our growth and strengthening. The difficulties we experience are not in vain. They are opportunities to shape our character and bring us closer to the strength that comes from Him. Every tear shed, every sleepless night becomes a lesson that prepares us for the blessings that are to come. Today, we face a series of challenges that can make us question the meaning of it all. The pressures of daily life, losses, and disappointments can lead us to discouragement. However, it is essential to keep hope alive in our hearts. Even when everything seems lost, God is working behind the scenes, preparing the way for our victory. This certainty should encourage us to stay strong, even when the evidence around us seems to point in the opposite direction. Each of us carries stories of overcoming and faith. Just as many have faced trials and, in the end, were able to witness God's goodness and faithfulness in their lives, we too have the possibility to write our own story of victory. It is in this space of trust that we can find peace amid the storm. What seems to be an end can indeed be a new beginning, filled with promises to be fulfilled. Remember that even in ashes and dust, there is a possibility to rise again and shine. Difficulties do not define who we are, but rather how we respond to them. When we focus on the promises and not on the circumstances, we begin to see God's hand at work in our lives. It is important to cultivate an attitude of gratitude, recognizing that every experience, no matter how bitter it seems, is a step toward fulfilling His plans for us. Therefore, as we face each challenge, may we remember that we are being shaped for something greater. Faithfulness is rewarded, and victory, even if it takes time to arrive, will have a sweet and unforgettable taste. May we open ourselves to this truth and allow faith to guide us, even in the darkest moments. The certainty that we are cared for and guided by a greater purpose should be our anchor amid life's storms. Lord, I come to You with an open heart, acknowledging my weaknesses and the challenges I face daily. I confess that often I let myself be overwhelmed by pain and discouragement, forgetting that each trial carries a valuable lesson. Help me to remember that, even in the most difficult situations, such as the losses and frustrations I experience, there is a greater purpose at work. May I see beyond the difficulties and trust that Your plan is always the best for me. I am grateful for every moment of learning, even those that seem bitter. I appreciate the blessings that I often fail to recognize amid the storm. Thank You for being by my side in every battle, giving me strength when the path seems impossible. I acknowledge that even in the darkest hours, Your presence is felt. May I always cultivate a grateful heart, even when circumstances are unfavorable, and thus find peace in Your love. In this moment, I make my plea. I ask that You help me rise from the ashes and dust, as Your Word teaches us. I know that in You, I find support and renewal. Help me to overcome the challenges that surround me, such as pressure at work or difficulties in relationships. May I feel your protective hand guiding me, even when the way seems uncertain. May every tear I shed not be in vain, but an expression of my faith in your transformative power. I offer you my worries and anxieties, surrendering control over my life to you. May I rest in the assurance that you are taking care of every detail. Accept my surrender, Lord, and transform my struggles into opportunities for growth. May my life be a testimony of your love and faithfulness, even in adversity. May I be an instrument in your hands, bringing hope to others who also face difficulties. Finally, I make my request. May I see the promises you have for me fulfilled, even if they seem distant. Help me to maintain faith and perseverance, always remembering that if you are with me, nothing can stop me from achieving victory. May I be a reflection of your light, showing everyone around me that even in trials, there is a sweet and joyful future ahead. Renew my hope within me, and may I always remember that after every night of weeping comes the joy of a new dawn. I believe that every step I take toward you is a step toward healing and restoration. May I live in the certainty that victory is on the way, and that the taste of honey is the reward for my faithfulness. Help me to remain steadfast, knowing that even when the journey seems long and difficult, you are always with me, and your love is the strength that sustains me. Let us reflect on the story of Ruth, a woman who faced great challenges and losses, but who teaches us about resilience and hope. Ruth, a Moabite, lost her husband and chose to accompany her mother-in-law, Naomi, back to Bethlehem, even amid pain and uncertainty. Her choice to remain loyal and faithful to her mother-in-law, despite the hardships, reveals a generous and courageous heart. Ruth did not know what awaited her, but she trusted that something greater was at work. Upon arriving in Bethlehem, Ruth dedicated herself to working in the fields, gathering barley to support herself and Naomi. Even in the face of adversity, her determination led her to meet Boaz, a relative of Naomi. This initially unexpected relationship turned into a blessing. Boaz saw in Ruth not only a hard-working woman, but someone who was loyal and had admirable character. He welcomed and protected her, showing that kindness is rewarded. The story of Ruth teaches us that even in times of despair, faithfulness can lead us to unexpected paths of blessings. Chapter 2 of the Book of Ruth highlights Boaz's generosity, who, recognizing Ruth's effort, offers her protection and provision. This act not only changed Ruth's life, but also Naomi's, who upon witnessing Boaz's generosity, felt hope rekindled in her heart. Verse 10 of chapter 2 states, "Then Ruth fell on her face, bowing to the ground, and said to him, 'Why have I found favor in your eyes, that you should take notice of me since I am a foreigner?'" Ruth not only found a new home, but also the promise of a future. Her story is a powerful reminder that even in the ashes of loss, we can rise and shine. Through faith and loyalty, she became part of David's lineage, and consequently Jesus' genealogy. This shows us that God can transform our losses into victories, bringing forth the best in us. Today, many people feel like Ruth, facing losses and uncertainties. The pressures of daily life can lead us to doubt our ability to rise again. However, Ruth's story encourages us to keep hope alive, to believe that even amid pain, there are opportunities for renewal and blessings. Faithfulness and courage can lead us to a future we never imagined. Ruth teaches us that the choice to remain faithful, even when everything seems to crumble, can result in rewards beyond our understanding. Like her, we can remember that we are being shaped for something greater. Every challenge is a chance to show resilience and to trust that in the end, what we hope for will become reality. Therefore, as we face our own difficulties, let us draw inspiration from the story of Ruth. May we recognize that even in the darkest moments, God is working in our favor. He never abandons us, and always has a plan that goes beyond what we can see. The victory that is to come may taste as sweet as honey, and this is a testament to His faithfulness in our lives. Life is full of ups and downs, and each of us has, at some point, faced situations that seem unbearable. However, it is important to remember that even in the most bitter struggles, there is the promise of a future filled with sweetness and joy. Every challenge we encounter is an opportunity to strengthen ourselves, to deepen our faith, and to draw closer to the certainty that we are loved and cared for. The victory that is to come can be as sweet as honey, a reward for those who persevere and remain faithful. As we reflect on our struggles, we are called to believe that after every tear, there is a new dawn. Each of us carries within us the ability to rise, to overcome, and to shine, even in the most adverse circumstances. It is essential that we do not allow discouragement to take control. Instead, may we view challenges as opportunities for growth and transformation. Life is a gift, and every experience, no matter how difficult, shapes us for something greater. Therefore, I encourage you to keep faith alive in your heart. Remember that even when everything seems dark, the light will always find a way to shine. May you be an example of perseverance, showing everyone around you that hope should never be lost. You are chosen, and your story does not end here. Blessings are on the way, and your victory will be a powerful testimony. Before we conclude, I want to leave a blessing over your life. May you feel the presence of a love that transforms and renews, and may each day be an opportunity to experience the taste of the victory that is to come. If you have been touched by this message, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Share this reflection with someone who needs hope, and in the comments tell us, what challenge have you been facing, and how has faith been a support in your life? We are together on this journey, and your story can inspire many others. May God richly bless you.